Well. Welcome back, bass fans. You guys don't know this, but I have been away for 3 weeks, and it's been a week since I've recorded anything. So it's been a month. So it may take me a minute before I get back into things here. I will explain to you in a little while where I've been, but first of all, we may have a rant. Another fly. But first of all, you're not used to seeing me in this room. And this room is where I do my editing. Mrs. Bass Fishing Basics, my wife, is busy remodeling the area that we normally film in. Together, you and I. And I'm not going to interfere with that. Happy wife, happy life. What you guys don't know is that room is kind of split into two. On this side of the room is where I do my lures and stuff and filming. And on that side of the room is where Bettina, my wife, does her crafting. So she's busy reorganizing and redecorating and doing stuff. And it's not a very big room. So it's a little bit cluttered at the moment, and she's busy handling that, and I'm sure we'll be back to normal in a little while. That doesn't really matter because we've got a lot to get through. I've been away for 3 weeks and away from filming for 4 weeks, filming in studio for 4 weeks. But I have been in Minnesota with my brother, who's not really my brother. He's actually my best friend, Fran. And we did a lot of filming there, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that shortly. But first of all, I need to explain to you guys my current situation. So those of you that have just joined the channel or just coming to the channel and seen the videos for the first time will know nothing about me. My name is Howard Johnson. I am a bass fisherman from South Africa, and I currently live in Scotland. I live in Scotland because we left South Africa due to some, let's just call it political violence and leave it at that. So I only get to go fishing once a year. And Fran and myself, put his picture up over here somewhere, we try to go on a different adventure every year. And we've been everywhere. We've been to the Detroit River hunting muskies. We've been to St. Clair a couple of times looking for giant smallies, which we've done. In my thumbnail of the channel, you'll see one of them. I broke my personal best 4 times in 15 minutes on the last trip to St. Clair, which was awesome. And then we fished in a bunch of other places, a lot of places in Minnesota. I love fishing in Minnesota. And I've fished Minnesota. The only season I haven't fished Minnesota is in the winter time. But other than that, I've fished Minnesota right through the year. We fished it in the fall, the spring, and the summer. This year was the summer. Now, Fran is having some potentially life-threatening health issues. And we decided that we would play it safe this year. So we went and stayed at his cabin at Mille Lacs. And we've been planning it for a long time. The big plan was that we would go and target the smallmouth in Mille Lacs as many different ways as we could. For those of you that know the north of Minnesota, summertime is probably not the best time to go hunting smallmouth, but that was the plan. And the backup plan would be, it's the land of 10,000 lakes. You're not short of water to fish. If it was tough on Mille Lacs, we'd go and fish lakes that are within 50 miles of his cabin. So brother, thank you for that. I love you for that. I know it was a tough trip for you health-wise and stuff like that, and I'm super grateful. It did not work out the way we wanted it to for several reasons. Number one, the weather was unbelievable. I think in the time that we were there, within 100-mile radius, Fran may have to correct me here, of where we were, there was more than 10 tornado warnings. We had storms coming through, if not every day, every second day. So if you go back to the bass fishing biology videos and you watch the video that we did on weather, you will understand how detrimental that is to fishing. The fish do not know what is going on. Pressure's up, pressure's down, rain, wind, and I mean howling winds. We had winds over 50 miles an hour a couple of times right where we were. Fortunately, we did not have any tornadoes right where we were, but the siren did go. The one late morning, I was doing a bit of experimenting and a tiny little bit of filming, maybe 500 yards from Fran's cabin on the water, and the siren went off. Now, because I've previously been to the States, I know what that means. So obviously, off the lake. And I said to him, did you hear the siren go off? Is there a test today? And he said, no, it's normally Tuesdays. This was a Wednesday. So it must have touched down somewhere. It was close-ish to where we were. The siren is probably, if I remember correctly, it's about a 15-minute drive by car from where we were. So it's pretty close. I don't want anything to do with tornadoes. Nothing at all. Not even a little bit. I don't like them, and I don't want anything to do with them, especially not on a boat. So it was a challenging trip. The days that we did get on the water, we filmed. We had some challenges. Fran thinks that it was mistakes that he may have made whilst he was filming me. I'm super grateful that he did that. He gave up his fishing time to film me. I personally think that it was the heat. A couple of the days that we filmed on, it was way over 90 degrees. In fact, the one day when we got off the water when we filmed, the thermometer in the car was showing 106. Now, I know that's not a big deal for you guys that live in the south. Northern Minnesota, it's a pretty big deal. That's the hottest I've ever seen it there, and it's the second time I've been there in the summer. So, and when I say north, those of you that don't know where Mille Lacs is, it's way north. It's from there, I think the closest border with Canada, if I'm not mistaken, is about 2.5 hours. So it's way, way north. And a couple of the lakes that we were fishing, particularly that one that I've just mentioned where it got above 106, was even further north than that, about another 45 minutes drive further north than Mille Lacs. Needless to say, we got a little bit of filming done on Mille Lacs. We sucked with the smallies, and I thought that it was just, obviously we had done a lot of planning leading up to this trip. I'm one of those people, I have to plan, and we did that. And we had a couple of new things that we wanted to try out. We did that. And a couple of them worked and a couple of them didn't. You can't plan for weather. So I think out of the total 21 days that I was there, we maybe fished a total of, in hours wise, two full fishing days on Mille Lacs. That's how tough it was, weather-wise. And of course, with the weather comes the added bonus of the fish going, nah, we're not going to feed. So I feel for the time that we put in, we did very well. And obviously trips to the tackle shop and stuff like that, speaking to the guys that live there. We spoke to a couple of guys that fished tournaments on Mille Lacs, that had gone out the previous evening, found some fish. They were pre-fishing for a tournament and very graciously gave us some information. And he said he'd gone out the previous evening or the night before that, and he'd found some small fish up to 3 pounds. That's a smallmouth on Mille Lacs. And he'd arrived on his tournament day, which I think was the Saturday morning, and they got 1 fish for the day. And he lives there and tournament fishes there. So that's the excuse I'm going to use. As far as the filming goes, although I'm used to doing these types of videos, obviously filming myself and with Fran filming me on the boat, whole new ball game. We got some super good footage, but I think that one of the gimbals that we were using was malfunctioning and it cut the sound off, or it, without any kind of provocation, filmed in slow-mo, and it just was no good, absolutely no good. And then eventually what happened was, the style of fishing, when we eventually got on some fish, and we got on some fish in some of the smaller lakes, it's just not suitable to film. It would have been the most boring video that I've ever made. We were doing a lot of weightless fishing. It's very slow. And the videos that we did get, you're going to see, I promised you guys a long time ago that I would do some videos on flipping and pitching. We've got those. Those are in the can. Some of them don't have sound. So what I'm going to try to do is, it's either going to be 1 or 2 episodes where we're going to break it down, and I'm just going to voice over the stuff that hasn't got sound. And you guys will just have to put up with me doing the voiceover. In some of the stuff where I was explaining, I probably wasn't doing a very good job anyway. So the voiceover will hopefully be better than what I was saying when I was on the boat. So you'll see my lips moving on the video, but it'll be something, the sound will probably be completely different, me trying to explain what was going on. So we're going to make it into a kind of a storyboard. It's not that we didn't get fish on the trip. I think if I had to total up all the fish on the trip for the total number of days that we fished, I would say was probably, out of the 21 days with going to the other lakes, hours total put together, I would say that it was probably around about, let's say, half the time that I was there. So, and the other thing, obviously, that I had to take into consideration as well, was making sure that Fran was comfortable and that it wasn't affecting his health in any way. And that's only fair. He looks after me all the time. I've got to look after him as well. So it was a great trip. Had a fantastic time, except for the weather. So the total number of fish for the trip, I would say, is probably around about the, conservatively, maybe around the 250 fish mark, which is pretty good. It's kind of 25 fish a day type of thing. In reality, not, because obviously we were going out for short periods of time. Some of the trips that we did, we were on the water for maybe 2 hours. Storm warning came through on the radar, get off. That is literally how it was. And fortunately, with Fran's background in the aeronautics industry, he is a pilot. And my little bit of experience, if you want to call it, as having been fishing most of my life, both freshwater and saltwater, we're both very good at reading weather, and then having the advantage of the Sirius radar weather, made good calls. And fortunately, the only thing, a couple of times we got wet. We did get caught in wind, but not enough to make us nervous. Now, the next thing, you're going to see some footage. When you see some of the footage, you're going to see it's in 2 different boats. That is because we use 2 different boats. There's a boat that we use on Mille Lacs, which is a black Alumacraft, and the other boat is a red-colored Ranger. So you'll see it will be a Ranger 1 or the black boat. If you hear me mention that, that's what I'm talking about, which I'm also very grateful for. It made life very easy that there was already a boat available on Mille Lacs, and then we were able to just trailer the Ranger and go wherever we needed to go when the weather prevented us from going on Mille Lacs, which was most days. So that's it. It was a fantastic trip. I'm super grateful to Fran for doing everything as usual. Super grateful for my long-suffering wife that lets me go fishing, even though it is once a year now. Before, when I lived in South Africa, it was sometimes 3 times a week. I wasn't filming in those days, but it was serious tournament fishing and that kind of stuff. And what I'll do is I'll break down, there's some really good video, good quality video that Fran shot. We'll break it down. If there's anything that's super pertinent, I'll break out the lures that we used. But in most cases, I think I explained what I was doing. There's no secret ninja stuff as far as I can remember. And I think I promised that I would try out some of the demo or some of my test lures that I had made before I went, and just did not get the opportunity to do it. We did do a lot of work, or I got to do a lot more work with the forward-facing sonar and had some wonderful results for me. And although it's not my favorite thing in the world to do, and it really isn't, I'm being honest with you. And I don't think it's the be-all and end-all for bass fishing. I really don't, because we found a ton of fish that we could not get to bite, and I pride myself in being able to get fish to bite one way or the other. So I do not think it's just go out there and thrash everything that's in the water and you're going to catch it all. But what I was able to do, which I didn't think I would be able to do because I have very little experience with the forward-facing sonar, only one other trip where I've actually used it, was see a fish, cast to the fish, watch my bait go down to the fish, pop the bait, see the bait pop up, see the fish come up and grab it, set the hook, see the fish come up when I set the hook, wind it in and catch it, which was amazing. Absolutely amazing to see. And thanks to all the people on YouTube who provide videos on how to set up forward-facing sonar and all the right settings and all the little tips and tricks for getting it perfect, because it worked. It absolutely worked, which was great. And thankfully on this trip there was no disasters. We had some equipment failure, like I said. We also had a trolling motor go out on us, which was not a big deal. It got sorted out. It was all fixed up. And pretty much it returned home safe. I had a great time. I'm sure Fran had a great time. We both caught some big fish. Another thing that you need to be aware of, people that are not used to fishing in the north, when we talk about a big largemouth there, it's 4 to 5 pounds. It's a big fish there. First fishing day there, I managed to get a 5.5 pound largie. There was a couple of other 5 pounders mixed in. There'll be photos of those as well. And the biggest smallmouth for the trip, Fran got, and I think that was about a 4.5 pounder. And I think I got a 4 pounder. And although those sound like very good fish for smallmouth, guys, those are not big fish for Mille Lacs. The brown bass there are huge fish. And compared to what we've caught there previously, not big fish at all. So, but still, love catching smallies. They are super strong, probably 2-3 times as strong as largemouth are in most cases. And I love to catch any bass. I don't really care. So, but smallmouth are special. You Minnesotans, you've got unbelievable opportunities for bass fishing up there. Look after your lakes, look after your fish. And on a personal note, guys, please try and get your DNRs to stop spraying the weed in your lakes. It just destroys them. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to rant about it. But what an amazing place. Got to fish 3 new lakes on this trip. When we go to Minnesota, we normally fish 4 or 5 lakes. I think on this trip we fished 7 or 8. So fantastic. Fran, I can't believe that you didn't take me to that secret lake earlier. I know what you were doing. You know what you were doing. On a serious note, guys, I'm not going to mention the names of the lakes, just out of respect for the people that live there. The guys that live up there, you'll know where we were fishing. And please don't put it in the comments. It's not important. We just went bass fishing. Thanks for tuning in again, guys. I hope you enjoy these videos. This is a whole new type of editing for me. I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to try and get it done. And I hope you enjoy it. We'll pick up again on the Tackle and Techniques series, probably in about 2 episodes or so. And just carry on from where we left off. I just want to get this stuff out there for you guys to enjoy. And for those of you that are still fishing in the States and even in South Africa, I hope you're having a good summer and winter and catching loads of bass. We'll see you next time.